Hi everyone, and welcome to Bio 201, Human Anatomy and Physiology. This is your Week 1 Lab Microscopes and Epithelial Histology. My name is Julia Nitchman, and I will be leading you through some slides about both microscopes, how to use them, what their parts are, and then we'll transition into our first major type of tissue we'll be talking about, which is epithelium. So to get us started out here, first up, we're going to talk about what the major takeaways from these next few videos are going to be. The first thing you want to come to lab being able to do is identifying the components of and using a microscope. So you want to come into lab kind of knowing already what parts you're going to need to worry about and how you're going to be able to get a microscope slide visualized. You're also going to want to be able to identify the various cell shapes of epithelial tissue, understand why they are located where they are based on their function. When we say where they're located, we mean, of course, within the body. You're also going to want to be able to identify some common aspects of epithelial cells and their structures, as well as the structures they create around them. You're going to want to be able to identify the unique features of this tissue type, and you're going to want to be able to identify these tissue types from histological images in the PowerPoint we're going through, but also on the microscope slides themselves, as well as using APR images. So APR itself has these images uploaded to there. So let's go over our first section here. This is going to be microscope use. We're going to talk about the anatomy of the microscope, the different components of it, and how you use them. So first up here we have one of our lab microscopes, and there are several parts of the microscope that are important for you to be comfortable with. The first one, of course, is going to be the ocular lens, which is also called the eyepiece. This is what you actually look into, and the eyepiece already has some objective power, so it is a 10 times objective It is a 10 times lens already in itself. And this is going to be the piece you're going to actually put your eyes towards and look through. Now you'll notice that there's a circle here, and that each eyepiece, each ocular lens is able to move a bit. So you're able to kind of widen it. If you have a bit of a wider set pair of eyes, you're able to narrow it if your face is a bit more narrow. Then we have the nose piece, and the nose piece is going to hold the different objective lenses. So this nose piece is going to be able to swivel, and you're going to be able to switch between 3 different objective lenses. So we have a 4 times power, a 10 times power, and a 40 times power. There is also a 100 times power objective lens. On most of the microscopes, it has a piece of red tape around it. We do not use the 100 times objective lens in this lab. That is an oil immersion lens. We're going to stick to the 4 times, the 10 times, or the 40 times. Then we have this mechanical stage here. That's what this kind of black rectangle is. This is the portion of the microscope that actually goes up and down. And the mechanical stage is going to have this specimen clip on it, which is just a metal clip that you're going to be able to secure your microscope slide with. And it has this metal plate on it. That metal plate is going to be able to move forwards and backwards, as well as left to right. And in doing so, on the mechanical stage, we have the ability to move in 3 different planes of motion. We have up, down with the mechanical stage itself, which is kind of like our Y axis. We have our X axis, which is left to right. And then we have our Z axis, which is forward and backward. How do we move the mechanical stage? Great question. First, we have our Y-axis movements, our up and down. Those are going to be controlled by the coarse adjustment and the fine adjustment knob. So they are one structure, but there are 2 parts to it that spins. The coarse adjustment knob makes the stage move up and down relatively quickly. The fine adjustment knob makes it move a bit slower. So whenever you're using the microscope slides, you always want to start by using the coarse adjustment to get that slide moving up within your field of vision. And then as soon as you start seeing stuff, then you switch to the fine adjustment so that you move the stage more slowly so that you can get that slide right where you want it for the crispest image. Then we also have this arm down here. We'll see that better in another in another slide. And the stage controls, there's 2 components to it. There's a top portion and a bottom portion. And each of those 2 dials is going to control a different plane of motion. So one of the sections is going to control your forward and backward of this gray, of this metal plate here. And then the other portion of it is going to control the left to right. And so between your adjustment knobs and your stage controls, you're going to be able to move your microscope slide around that mechanical stage. Another important guy over here, of course, is the light switch. That's how you turn the microscope on. It's a pretty important one to be comfortable with. Moving on so that we can see that stage control a little bit better and the coarse and fine adjustment knob. Here again, we have our light switch, we have our nose piece with our objective lenses, we have our eyepiece. Here, though, we can see how that coarse adjustment knob is going to be a thicker, closer to the microscope portion of this structure than the fine adjustment knob, so they each spin independently of each other. And then we have the stage controls. Again, here we have a top control and a bottom control. The top one will do either left or right or up or down, and then the bottom dial will do the other motion. And then we're going to flip around and look at the other side here, because here we have one last really important dial that you should be familiar with. This is the brightness adjustment. When you're using a microscope, it's important to always have the light bright. You don't want to hurt your eyes though. So this brightness adjustment is going to allow you to turn up the light or turn it down to brighten it or to dim it, so that it's comfortable for you to look at. You typically want it as bright as is comfortable for you to look at. And then lastly, there is a piece just underneath this mechanical stage, so you've got the mechanical stage and then you've got this piece underneath it. That is called the condenser, and the condenser is going to have this little metal tab on it that you're able to open up more or close. This is a second way that we adjust the amount of light coming through this bottom area of our mechanical stage here, which is where the light actually passes through to go under and illuminate the microscope slide. So if you're having trouble visualizing something, with the brightness adjustment, you can't get, so you've got it kind of as bright as you can handle, you're not really seeing stuff, you're playing around with that and it's not working. It's always worthwhile to start playing with the metal tab on the condenser to change the amount of light that is coming through that microscope slide. And then we've kind of already hit on this as I was going through the pieces. I kind of touched on these, on how we use the microscope slide. But if you would like to watch a video on it, there is a short how to use a microscope video linked here. As I was saying before, when we're using the microscopes in the lab, we're only ever going to use 3 objective lenses. We're going to use the 4 times, the 10 times, or the 40 times. There is a general method, though, that we want to use these in. So if I were to go bird watching, for example, I go to the park, I sit down on the bench, I'm not going to immediately pull up my binoculars and start trying to find birds in the trees, because I'm never going to find the birds. I'm too zoomed in. So first you want to start as zoomed out as possible, and that's going to be with the 4 times red objective lens. So you'll notice that the lenses have these cute little rings of color on them. You're going to want to start with the 4 times objective. This is your widest view. And so on this power, you're going to be able to find the slide, and then what you're going to want to do is center that slide, whatever the staining is, whether it's the tissue stain pink or blue, you're going to want to find that color and center it on your field of vision. From there, you can then swap to the 10 times or yellow objective lens, and that's going to start zooming in a little bit more. This objective power is going to be enough for certain tissue types. Ground bone, for example, you can see plenty at this objective. Some of our tissues, though, are even smaller, and we're going to want to zoom in even further. So you'll go to the yellow 10 times objective lens, you'll again center your microscope slide in your field of vision, and then you'll swap over to the blue 40 times objective lens. This is the highest power lens we're going to use in the lab here. We are never going to use the 100 times objective lens. That's an oil immersion lens. That's not for us. We're going to go up to the 40 times objective power. Most of the tissues we're going to be looking at, you're going to want to check them out at the 40 times objective. So again, just go in order. Start with the lowest zooming in, and then go to the most zoomed in. And once you're at that 40 times objective power, you'll be able to see the structures we're looking at, and you'll be able to kind of move around that slide with your stage controls again to see everything you need to. The last bit I'm going to talk about here is staining. So tissues, when they come from the body, we typically cannot take the tissue, plop it on a microscope slide, and we're good. We can see what we need to. Typically, we're going to have to do some sort of staining process. And staining here, as you might imagine, just means we're going to add different dyes to the tissue that certain parts of the tissue, certain molecules are going to grab onto, and that's going to make them more colorful. Makes them easier to see. The most common stain that's used in human histology and pathology is going to be hematoxylin and eosin stain, also called H&E stain. This stain is going to target 2 different types of structures of molecules within a tissue. DNA is going to end up being stained purple. So here we can see the DNA here in that nucleus is nice and bright and purple. Proteins are going to be stained pink, so we can see all of this pink outlining of the cellular membranes of these cells, which have plenty of proteins in them. Lipids, so fat molecules, are not going to hold on to either of these stains, so they're going to end up clear. They're going to look like the light is just going to pass right through them. So all of these open areas we see here are going to be lipids. It's important to remember that not all tissues are going to best be stained this way. Some tissues, we don't necessarily want to see the DNA or the protein, we want to see other structures, so we're going to use different types of stains. One type of tissue that you're going to notice this with next week in particular is going to be the cardiac muscle tissue, which it's important for us to be able to see the intercalated discs. They're not going to stain well with H&E stain, so we stain the entire tissue with something else. So most of the tissues we look at will have a lot of pinks and purples, not all of them. Quickly before I end this first one, you might have noticed two words here that maybe you're not super familiar with: histology and pathology. Histology, hist, tissue, ology, the study of. Histology is the study of tissues. So the first 2 weeks in lab, we're going to be doing histology. We're going to be looking at, studying, and understanding, learning about tissues. Pathology, ology, study of, path, diseases. Pathology is going to be the study of diseases. This is the study of investigating the cause of illnesses, that sort of thing. All right. That wraps up this first section, learning how to use microscopes. I look forward to seeing you in the second section, in the second video, I should say, where we're actually going to jump in and start looking at our first major type of tissue. See you there.